There is a land that lies strategically in South America and whose shores are washed and kissed 365 days every year by the Atlantic Ocean. This land is Guyana, and she gives shelter not only to her children, but also to a great many species of both flora and fauna. However, to conserve her beauty, to safeguard her politics, and to etch her name in the world, she needed to elect from among her children leaders to bear her name like a flaming torch and to keep it from being extinguished by the calamitous winds of corruption, environmental decay, civil sabotage, and imperialism. These leaders each manifested themselves in the form of presidents to safeguard the name of Guyana and to protect their patrimony. In this video, we will talk about the first president of Guyana, President Arthur Chung. So stay tuned and listen as this video explains President Chung's life and the road to becoming the first president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So who was President Arthur Chung? Arthur Chung was born January 10th of the year 1918 and died June 23rd of the year 2008. He was the first president of Guyana from 1970 to 1980. He was also the first ethnic Chinese head of state in a non-Asian country. Chung was born at Windsor Forest, which is about 8 kilometers from Vredenhoek on the west coast of Marara, into a family of 8. 3 boys and 5 girls. His father, Joseph Chung, an immigrant from China who worked as a foreman on Martha Fung Li Fung's expensive rice property at Windsor Forest. His mother, Lucy, was an immigrant from Trinidad. They were the descendants of the first Chinese indentured immigrants who arrived aboard the SS Glentoner on the 12th of January of the year 1853. Arthur Chung was baptized and worshipped at St. Jude's Anglican Church at Blankenberg and attended the Windsor Forest and Blankenberg primary schools on the West Coast and the Modern High School in Georgetown, graduating with the junior and senior Cambridge certificates in 1938. In 1954, Chung married Doreen Pamela Nung Si Chuen, with whom he had 1 daughter and 1 son. Before civic service, Chung was an apprentice surveyor and sworn land surveyor. He qualified as a sworn land surveyor in 1940, after which he joined the staff of the Public Works Department, where he stayed for 6 months before being recalled to the Lands and Mines Department to work as an assistant hydrographic surveyor with the Demerara River Navigation Development Project. It was while living and working abroad the waterborne vessel that he was able to accumulate enough savings to travel to Britain to study. In the early 1940s, Chung entered the Middle Temple of London, England, and qualified as a barrister in 1947. He returned to Guyana and was later appointed an acting magistrate. He became a magistrate in 1954 and a senior magistrate in 1960. Chung also served as Registrar of Deeds and of the Supreme Court. He then became a puisne judge and finally an appeal court judge in 1963. So how did Chung enter politics? And what was his journey like to becoming the first president of Guyana? Well, Chung was elected as the country's first president on March 17th of the year 1970 under the leadership of Forbes Burnham, the same year that Guyana became a republic. Our survival as a nation will depend on how well we work together. Those were some of the words uttered by our first president at his inauguration. The Chung presidency made a start redefining the national identity and represented what ordinary people thought republicanism and socialism meant. Arthur Chung served through the decade of the grand experiment to transform society and the economy. Innovations ranged from changing conventions on dress to the nationalization of the commanding heights of the economy and the initiation of diplomatic relations with communist states. He often visited hinterland communities, nourishing a special fondness for Matthews Ridge, where he spent New Year's Eve with his family and an eye in the Rupununi. He once caused something of a stir in the Venezuelan camp on occupied and Coco Island when it was learned that he was visiting Guyana Defense Force troops at Etteringbang across the Cuyuni River. Exercising authority and influence rather than power, Arthur Chung understood his role as a civil servant and held his office with quiet dignity. He was to be the friendly face of Guyana's future foreign policy of forging strategic relations in the Caribbean and economic relations with socialist countries. A constitutional head of state, Arthur Chung was anything but ceremonial. He exuded a sense of dignity and impartiality to the highest office in the land and set a certain social tone as patron of the Guyana Legion, Guyana Red Cross Society, Guyana Lawn Tennis Association, and other civic associations. He made his first official visit as head of state to the United Kingdom in July 1971, where he was the Queen's luncheon guest at Buckingham Palace, had tea with the Prime Minister at 10 Downing Street, attended a performance of Swan Lake at the Royal Opera House, and a supper party at the Savoy hosted by the Minister of State for the Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs. Official visits in the region of Antigua, Grenada, and Jamaica followed. In the east, he visited the Republic of India, the People's Republic of China, meeting President Hua Guofeng, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, where he met President Kim Il-sung, and the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, where he met President Joseph Tito. Moreover, in 1980, he was awarded the state's highest honor, the Order of Excellence. Unfortunately, this man on June 23, 2018, died peacefully at his Bel Air Springs home at 12:45 p.m. from multiple medical complications. He was accorded a state funeral and laid to rest at the Seven Ponds Place of Heroes. Though he lies there a man gone, the way of all men, having fulfilled what he thought to be necessary and true, his leadership, conviction, and courage earned him the love, respect, and admiration of the Guyanese people. He will forever be remembered.